Hello everyone, my name's Mark Poston. Work for a company called Mekon, and I'm here to show you a solution that we've built into Oxygen that allows authors and it allows developers to work with the content delivery product that we have. We have a product called DITAweb that is essentially a platform for building DITA-based content delivery solutions. So what you're seeing on the screen here is an example of DITA content being published through our system. One of the key features of the system is that it allows for personalized delivery of content and dynamic delivery of content. So the system itself indexes the XML that is being published, so that you can build these kind of dynamic features into your website or into your CMS, whatever you need to use. So a simple example here is that this document has certain words tagged in with semantic markup. In this case, it's the name of different DITA tags. If I select one of those, the system will do a search across the whole of the content that's been published in our platform and deliver other related content. That may be personalized or ranked based on who the user is, or it may be ranked based on other analytics type information. So that's just one example of what DITAweb does. Another example of delivering through DITAweb is something completely different, like this prototype site for dita.xml.org, and it can zoom that one in a little bit, and it can provide a solution that looks a bit more like this. So all of these things are built around the APIs that we have for content delivery. Those APIs also, so we have a web services API. So those APIs also allow us to perform content management capabilities within the system, and that's what we've implemented into Oxygen. So we've made use of various features of Oxygen in order for us to do that. We've created a plugin, so we can just install a plugin directly into Oxygen that provides us with a DITAweb menu that allows us to log into the system. So I can log in very easily, and because the content that's getting published is stored in a file system based way, we have now the ability to browse content. You can check content out, you can check content in, you can create new content. So I can create, for example, a new topic. Oops, didn't mean to be in caps. Okay, so it's not a very original document that I'm going to create here. I'll do it very quickly. So what we've done is we've implemented, we've made use of the extension points that Oxygen provides in order to build our integration with our own CMS, and that's the important thing here, that we've not had to implement. All we've had to do is extend things that Oxygen have already. So, for example, if we want to insert an image, we can go and browse for an image on the file system, but we can just as easily go and browse for a file that's in our own CMS. So I can go and find an image. There's one here somewhere. And that will insert the image into the document directly from the CMS. One of the important things that we've also had to implement through Oxygen is the ability to have alternate URL resolvers. So instead of resolving to the files that are in the file system or to an HTTP or HTTPS, we have our own protocol here, Notice, and the ID of the object that's in our system. And so we've been able to use Oxygen in order to resolve those so that they automatically display the images directly, pull the images directly from the CMS. I can then check this topic in. So let's just check this in quickly. My topic. Okay. So now we've got the topic in the CMS here. I have the ability to open it. I can go and check it out, and then I can modify it. I can then check the new versions of that back in. So it's regular kind of CMS capability here.
Does it check out a copy of the image, or does it still just reference it?
It's just referencing the image, yeah. Okay, let's discard that. I can do the same thing, so I can create a map. So when I created the topic, I used Oxygen's built-in support for templates. We can also select a template that may be stored within DITAweb itself. So I create a new map. You can see that the map appears. I can open. So this is using all standard Oxygen functionality. We haven't had to implement anything for the authoring side. We can just open the content, edit it with the standard frameworks. We can check the content back in. And so, for example, if I want to add that topic into the map that I've just created, I can just go in, append a file. Again, I can. I missed the little arrow there. I can go and select DITAweb, select the topic that I have created, and insert that in. You can see the titles are there, and then I can just go and check that map back into DITAweb. So pretty straightforward so far. We've got the ability to check in, check out, edit, you know, all those nice things. When we're back in the actual web UI, so one of the features of DITAweb is that it's a collaborative reviewing solution. So once the content is in here, I can actually publish it so that it can be reviewed. Now this is different to the track change and the review capability that's built into Oxygen, which happens within the authoring, which happens within the source topics. This is creating a separate version of the content, a published version of the content that external people can review. So you won't have subject matter experts and other technical people, or even customers, being able to review the source content which the Oxygen support would give you. So I can select to publish this this map that I've created. Just takes it's only got one topic, so it shouldn't take too long. So what this is now doing is it's using the DITA Open Toolkit on our server to publish the content, and it's also indexing it, and I'll talk about the indexing and Oxygen later on. Oop. So the document I've just created is here. Now we have this feature called Enable Annotating, and this allows us to comment on the content that's been published, as I say, for review purposes. So I can hover over a paragraph, I can click on a paragraph, and I can add the comment that I want to make against that content, and I can save that. That gets stored in the system as a separate thing. It doesn't change the published content, because that published content may be being used somewhere else where the users don't have access to the commenting features. And we can also suggest changes to content, which pulls in a copy of the paragraph that you've clicked on, and you can have a kind of simple insertion deletion capability. Back in Oxygen though, when I look at this topic, so first of all I can switch on another view that we've created, which is the comments view. And what you'll see down the bottom now are the comments that have been made on that topic. So using Oxygen as your authoring tool, you're able to pull in the annotations that have been made. If I open up this topic for editing again, I can see, you may just be able to see, they're very, very subtle, but there are icons in the content to represent where comments have been made. And if I select the content in the if I select the comments underneath, you can see that it highlights the point in the document. One of the suggestions George made when I showed this to him the other day was that perhaps we can take these comments, convert them into Oxygen's comments, work with them there, and then convert them back into our form if we need to afterwards. So there's future ways that we could look at integrating this support. If you've been reviewing over a long period of time, you have the ability to filter the comments and such. Where are we? So the messages, when DITAweb does various tasks within the system, it's sending messages. So we have the ability just to see what's going on within DITAweb. So whether that's just the stuff that you're doing, whether it's publishing, indexing, or whether it's system messages that you need to be able to monitor, we can do all of that through a plugin that we have here, or part of the plugin that we have. And the other important thing that we have is the ability to view the metadata. So we can select a piece of content that's been stored in DITAweb, and at the bottom here we have various bits of metadata about that, so we can see when it was created, last edited, its ID, what type of file it is. We can look at the versions of that file. So as there's more and more versions of the content being created, we can see all of those versions. We have the ability to revert to previous versions if we need to. And with the workflow support, we can also have approval of content so that you can only publish approved content. This is all capable through this Oxygen plugin. And the other thing you can see is where that content has actually been published. I know that the screen here is not great resolution, but it's showing me that that topic is referenced in a DITA map. It's also telling me that it's been published out to the web as well, so we can see everywhere where that file is. We can also see what is referenced in that file, so we can see the image that's included in that file as well. So from an authoring point of view, Oxygen provides a great way of providing all the tools we need for authoring. The same support has been implemented with the web clients, so the Java app is embedded in. So the authoring tab here, oh, silly Java errors. I won't show it now, but we actually embed the editor directly into the web UI. What we're going to look at doing next is using the new web editor that we've seen today, and embed that into this instead. We feel that that's probably a nicer way for some of our users to work with XML. I mean, it should be noted that some of the customers that are using this, they're not technical. They don't know XML at all. They just need to create content. But we're using XML as a way of producing consistent content that can be published through various, through the kind of the DITA publishing chain, if you like. We're using DITA as the enabler. So the simpler we can make the editor, the better, because it's whatever editor you use now, it's still very easy for these non-technical people to make mistakes in the content, and then they have to fix it. And so things like Schematron and the Schematron Quick Fix is something that can help with that. But the new web editor, I think, will be even better to help them create the content in the first place. So I was talking about the indexing. So from an authoring point of view, we've got all the tools we need. We can customize the frameworks, we can create new CSS, we can do whatever we like from an authoring point of view. One of the other things that, of course, needs to be done in a system like this is that it needs to be configured, and depending on how you use your XML, you're going to need to index it differently because you're using metadata in different ways. No customer does it the same way. So we have the ability to we can discard that. We also have the ability to work with XSL files within this system. So when content is published in our solution, we apply an XSL file to it that generates what needs to be indexed. That then gets sent to Apache Solr. We use Solr as the way of indexing all of our XML content. So we store the configuration for those XSLs directly in the CMS. So if I was to, let's just check out another map here. Let's go open up this one here. So authoring, great. Development, there's other tools that Oxygen offers that makes this really good. And that's, in particular here, it's the XSL debugging capability. So what we need to do is take the DITA map that's been published, which is the thing that's sitting over on the left here, and we need to run this transform on it, because that's going to extract all of the metadata and all of the content we need to index. So we can use Oxygen simply to use its XSL support, so that we can go and index the XML that we need. What this is allowing us to do is to preview the index that we're generating before the content's actually published on the server and the index gets created. So we can see exactly what's going to get sent to Solar and exactly what fields we're going to actually be indexing. So we think that this is a really it's a powerful feature that we have within DITAweb. And again, in order to handle this XSL support, let's just zoom in here. We've created another URL resolver. In this case, it's CMS : which allows us to reference the actual files that are stored in the system rather than referencing things by their IDs. So we've actually got two URL resolvers working at the same time, because this is using CMS, and the content that we were indexing is still using the notice prefix here. The reason this is in black and it's not all highlighted properly is because our integration with 17 has a little issue. So it's not recognizing it as a map. So therefore, it's just recognizing it as text and displaying it. That's why it's not highlighted as it should do. So we found that Oxygen is really the only tool that we've been able to use that provides us with all these capabilities. The fact that we can create an authoring solution that we can give to customers. We can make that authoring solution as easy as possible with extending the frameworks, extending CSS, using the web tools as well. But it's giving us this ability to use the tool for development purposes as well. And as we do more and more with the solution, all of the configuration files will eventually be stored within the CMS here, and they'll all be accessible to the implementers of DITAweb directly through Oxygen. So they just need to install the plugin that we have, access everything to configure our system. Where we can, we will make use of features of Oxygen to make that easier, whether that's the XSL debugging support, whether that's to use forms for certain things. It gives us all the tools we need to provide a solution. And that's it, really. Okay. Are there any questions? Oh, there must be one or two. No? Okay.
I was surprised the other day when Mark showed me that they've done integration at so many levels, with so many side views, showing comments, and it's very good to have when this link from the published content to the source, because otherwise it's very difficult to come back to change the actual source of the content if you just get comments in published content without being able to trace them immediately back to the source.
Yeah, I forgot to show that it also displays the comment in here as well, so there's another little panel that comes up. Yeah. And there'll be more. We're looking at other ways that we can, there's other things that we do within the system, including actually looking at what Solar index is. So the actual information and the actual indexes that get generated, we want to be able to view those directly within Oxygen as well, and be able to query those. So so we do it all in one place. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.